Here they come, the promoted teams. Hi guys, I'm Nymfria and welcome back to the home of FPL videos. Today we're going to look at the top 6 of the teams promoted from the Championship to help you consider if any of them are worth plumping for at the start of the season. If this content helps you out, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm hoping to reach 5,000 subs before the start of the season. It's always much appreciated, Nym fam. Enough of all of this, let's take a look at the promoted players. Well, we'll start off with the obvious pick, one that over a third of all registered FPL managers have in their current team draft, Ivan Toney. There would have been many interesting party waited to see what the Brentford striker would be priced at by those in FPL Towers. Toney could prove to be this season's bargain buy when it comes to the forwards. If he can replicate his Championship goal scoring record from last season, that is, even just by a half, then his 6.5 million price tag will look like a few pennies in comparison to the returns that he'll bring. A surprising stat for an outfield player to have, especially for a striker, is to have played more minutes in a season than even the goalkeeper. Toney played 4,352 minutes across his 58 appearances in all competitions last season. Second in the squad was the goalkeeper David Raya with 4,320 minutes in 48 appearances. So, as you can see, he's not exactly a rotation risk for you guys. Oh, and another little tasty morsel for you guys, because I'm full of those. He's also on penalties, scoring all of his last 11 spot kicks. Not bad, eh? Next up is one of Ivan's teammates and sometimes strike partner, Bryan Mbeumo. Mbeumo is predominantly a winger who piles his trade out on the right. But when the formation gets switched from the preferred 4-3-3 to the 3-5-2, he is normally the one to move more centrally to partner up with Toney up front. And as he's classified as a midfielder in FPL, that can only mean good things for us FPL managers. After all, who doesn't like an out of position player? But it's important to know it can go either way though, as he has played as right wing back at times. On a positive note, it's all minutes on the pitch rather than on the bench, right? His returns in the Championship were also very impressive, grabbing 8 goals and 10 assists in the league. Now, doubling up a newly promoted Brentford attack may not be for everyone, but with the first 5 game weeks not looking too shabby for the Bees, and Mbeumo coming in a full million cheaper than Toney at 5.5 million, our boy Bryan could be a worthy alternative for Ivan if other strikers were attracting you more. Moving on to Norwich, and one name usually comes up before any others, that being the host of the party himself, Teemu Pukki. The Finnish international had another stellar campaign in the Championship last season, notching up 26 goals and 4 assists in 41 games as the Canaries lifted the title. He will of course be familiar with FPL managers for his exploits in the 2019-20 season, especially the first 5 game weeks when he really got the party going with 6 goals and 2 assists. Unfortunately for him and the FPL managers that held on to Teemu, and I think I might have been one of those people, his form dropped off drastically after that, only improving his returns tally by 5 goals and 1 assist in the 33 games that followed his impressive start. The Canaries also have a terrible looking start to the season with their first 4 games against Liverpool, Man City, Leicester and Arsenal. That one possibly not so bad, but in those 11 goals Pukki scored in the Prem last time, he did score against Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Leicester and Spurs, so he's definitely not afraid of some tough opposition. Pukki is 0.5 million cheaper than the more popular Ivan Toney. Is that enough to tempt differential hunting managers to buy a ticket for the party? I'm not so sure. What do you guys think? What put a dampener on Pukki's appeal was the transfer of Buendia to Aston Villa, but Norwich didn't wait around in bringing in his replacement. Canaries soon snapped up Millet Rashica from Werder Bremen for a cool 9.4 million, but you can get him for a mere 5.5 million in the game. The 24-year-old winger had an impressive spell in the Bundesliga, scoring 21 goals and 17 assists in the 87 league games he played for the German club. That That's an attacking return every 2.2 games. Not bad for a player in a club that struggled at the foot of the table the last couple of years. If he could replicate that in the Premier League, that could equate to around 17 attacking returns this season. It will rely on whether Pukki has packed his scoring boots for his trip to the top flight, and if they can get together and form a partnership like Timo did with Buendia in the last campaign. A bit more of a one to watch, maybe. On to the final of the promoted sides. Watford and their star striker and pick of their midfield option is Ismaila Sarr. The Senegalese international has already been on the radar of FPL managers with his 5 goals and 7 assists during the 2019-20 season. Unfortunately for the Hornets, that campaign did end in relegation, but that gave Sarr a chance to shine. The winger netted 13 goals and provided 10 assists for his teammates in the league last season. Primarily playing out on the right, the $6 million priced Sarr is a virtual risk-free option when it comes to his minutes, having completed the full 90 minutes in all but 3 of the 39 championship games in which he started. Interestingly for managers, the pacey attacker was also the second most foul player in the 2021 championship campaign, having been brought down 116 times by his opponents. Wow. He was second only to Coventry City's Callum O'Hara, who was fouled 2 times more than Sarr, but in 7 more games. This could be gold for FPL managers, with the potential for winning penalties and racking up those assist points. Okay, this one is a little bit of a cheat as it's 2 players, but hear me out here. Hear me out, take a minute. The Brighton goalkeeping duo of Ryan and Button has been a mainstay for FPL managers looking to set their keepers, spend as little of their budget as they possibly could, and forget about them for the rest of the season, safe in the knowledge they'd never be without a keeper. That is, unless there was a blank game week. The idea here is that you're guaranteed to have at least one playing keeper every week. Even if the usual number 1 was dropped in a team, you'd still have their backup waiting on your bench ready to go in. Well, this season that duo looks like the Watford boys of Daniel Bachmann and Ben Foster, who are priced at 4.5 million and 4 million respectively. The Hornets had the best defensive record in the championship last season, only conceding 30 goals all season, keeping a league high of 23 clean sheets. They both played exactly half of the 48 championship games of the last campaign, with the Austrian international Bachmann just edging the bragging rights with 13 clean sheets opposed to Foster's 10, and conceding 4 less goals than his more experienced teammate, 13 to 17. The 27-year-old Bachmann will likely be the chosen number 1 as we reach game week 1, especially after impressing at the Euros. But with Foster playing the final game of the season, maybe the manager hasn't quite decided yet. Or maybe that was just the end of the season rotation. With a fairly favourable fixture schedule either side of this tricky spell between game weeks 7 and 15, will you be doing the keeper double up on the Watford lads? Let me know in the comments below. Wait, what's this? Another player? You know I always like to give you guys just a bit more, a little bit of a bonus. And this time it is just a little bit. A little bit of your budget, that is. In many a team and boasting an ownership of 17.6% at the time of recording this, Brighton's Basuma is the must-own 4.5 fifth midfielder of choice, partly due to his assured minutes and Brighton's favourable opening fixtures. However, there could be a new kid on the block, especially for all those early wildcarders out there who normally press the button around game week 4 or game week 5. Chelsea Academy graduate and Scottish international Billy Gill will be making Carrow Road his temporary home for the season, where he can hopefully become a mainstay in the team and get the minutes he needs to continue his development into a top player and FPL asset for the future. He hasn't had any returns in FPL as of yet, only playing 450 minutes of Prem football over the last 2 seasons. But much like Cantwell done for Norwich a couple of seasons ago, with the assurance of game time and the likes of Pukki and Rashica better ahead of him, the young central mid should start finding himself amongst the goals and assists. He was man of the match against England as the Euros after all. Like I said, maybe more for game week 5 onwards, but that gives us FPL managers 4 game weeks to see if he gets starts, and if he does, how he fares against the top opposition. Definitely another one to stick on the watch list. And that's it, the top 6 players from the promoted sides. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Will you be going in early on any of these assets? And if so, who are you considering? There is much more information about these players on the Fantasy Football Fix and Fantasy Football Scout websites. You can find my affiliate link. If you wish to sign up today, you'll get a discount with my code, which is in the description below. Please, if you've enjoyed this video, do hit the like button, subscribe, and smash that notification bell. It means an absolute bunch to me. Until next time, Nymfria out.